everybody. Well, I started using oxalic acid several years ago, and I started out with this vaporizer that I made. It's a 2 heating element. It worked good, but it still wasn't fast enough. So I went to, of course, YouTube and see what everybody else was using, and I see this guy who, his name is Just Because. He published this. He actually was the first one to publish it. So I used his measurements and what he was doing with the fogger. And it worked good. You know, I was kind of happy with it. But what I was thinking of as I was using it, because the rationale is that the oxalic acid is dissolved in the alcohol. Now, once you put it through the fogger and it goes in the hive, as soon as that alcohol flashes off, now it's basically a dried powder. So I'm trying to rationalize how I could come up with something to make it stick just a little bit longer to react to the Varroa. And all I've got to say is, first of all, whoever the first person was to come up with the idea to put a highly flammable liquid through a superheated tube and make it into a fog was either braver than hell or extremely crazy. I don't know. But either way it works, and I'm glad he did it. So what I've done, I've come up with a formula that actually intensifies the effect of the oxalic acid. What you do, instead of using the 100 milliliters of Everclear, which was expensive and it was kind of almost a shame to use it, you use just a cheap old vodka. The cheaper the better. You stay with the same measurements, but I've taken the measurements and I've actually made it easier. So instead of measuring out 100 milliliters, 100 milliliters basically comes out to a half a cup. So just take and fill up a half a cup, pour that into your blender. That's the cheap vodka. Take 2 tablespoons. You just kind of want to tap it down a little bit and level them off so you got a nice level tablespoon. 2 tablespoons of oxalic acid. That's all you got to do, and you will come out to 25 grams, extremely close. So now you take it and blend it. I'm not going to go the full 2-3 minutes that it takes, but when you're blending it, you look down in there and you'll see the crystals actually starting to dissolve through the blending action. So now that you've got all the crystals dissolved in the alcohol, this is where the magic starts. You take 2 tablespoons of mineral oil and you go, wait a minute, mineral oil and alcohol don't mix. Well, you're absolutely right. Well, we're going to use an emulsifier. So you take 2 tablespoons of mineral oil, put that in. Now you're going to add the emulsifier, which is actually soy lecithin. It's a gel cap. You just squeeze the contents. This is a 1200 milligram gel cap. Squeeze the contents in, and now you just let it mix. Once again, you want it to let it go so it's completely mixed up. It'll turn into almost like a milky white. And what you'll end up with is, let me show you that real quick. Is the color like this right here. Now, remember, this should have been mixed much longer, but I'm just showing you to expedite the video. It's going to be a milky white color. Now you've got the oxalic acid mixed up in this extremely inexpensive alcohol. It's like, I don't know, 10, 12 bucks. And now when you vaporize using the fogger, it's going to go into the mist, the oxalic acid mixed in and attached to the particles of mineral oil. And now the mineral oil will stick to the hive wall, stick to the bees long enough to intensify the effect of the oxalic acid. The cool thing is that, like salad dressing is what it is. If you let it set long enough, it will start to separate. It takes 2-3 minutes. So all you have to do to activate it is just shake it up. And like when you're using that on with your fogger, just shake it up in between, and you'll have tremendous results. I know I did. Had a huge mite drop, and it just stays and works longer. So anyway, there's a little tidbit for you. I hope you try it and I hope it works for you. And have a good day and good luck with your bees.